Hey there, I'm David.
And I'm Angelique, and we are
Adventures on Deck. And today we're going to be talking about our second ever cruise on.
The Carnival Vista.
Happened recently, a couple weeks ago, here in August of 2021. We had a great time there, and we're going to tell you guys all about it. Roll it! Okay, so as you guys know, COVID hit the cruise industry very hard. A bunch of other industries too, obviously, but hit the cruising industry very, very hard. And so there was a long layoff where there were no cruises. They just started back up, and I think it was in June, right, of 2021, July out of the U.S. So just started back up a few months ago. We were lucky enough to get back on a ship in August of 2021 and had an amazing time.
It was fantastic.
Right, so we were looking forward to it for such a long time because we got our first taste of cruising, as you guys saw in the last video, back in 2019, and loved it so much. And then soon after COVID hit, we couldn't go, so we just spent a lot of time watching cruising videos and wishing we were on.
Vicariously through YouTube.
So then we finally got our chance to get back, and we had a great time. So that cruise was such a just relief, I think, is a huge thing. Like it was the feeling of walking back on that ship just felt like returning to where you're supposed to be, right?
It was surreal.
Yeah.
Because even just the anticipation, the build up to it, you were afraid to get excited because you knew there were so many things, like everything was so fluid, things were changing.
Right. And then we pass through all of that. We get to the we're super excited stage. And then a few weeks before we get to go, we get thrown another curveball, which is 3 days before the cruise, you have to test negative for COVID. And so a few weeks beforehand, now we start getting into this anxious, is this going to happen kind of phase? Yeah. And, where can we get testing done? And how much is that going to cost? And we were able to go to CVS. We got it done for free 3 days before the cruise. And then luckily they called us, not even an hour after we got our test done, maybe a half an hour after we got the test done and said that we were negative. And then we could just get really excited. Then it was
was time to pack in a hurry.
Right, because now it's real. So that was just all surreal. We got down there, drove down to Galveston. We drove down to around the Houston area the night before, and then we woke up that next morning. We had a 10:30 check-in time, so we went, parked the car, got to the terminal, and we were off. So I think it was around 11:40 or so by the time we finally got on the ship. And it was a weird feeling. It was just it was like it's like you went home after being gone for so long. It really did feel that way.
It was so wonderful though to just once you cross that gangway and you're on the ship and you're home free. Like, that's it. Let's go. So we enjoyed being able to, as soon as we walked onto the ship, knock out our muster drill.
Yeah, we got really lucky. Yeah, so our muster drill, or our muster station was pretty much right when you walk on the ship. So you walk into the ship, there's a little hallway to your left-hand side, and right there on the Vista is muster station B3, which is what our muster station was, which is the Horizons restaurant.
Yeah.
And so it was right there. So we're like, you know what, we're right here, let's just knock out our muster drill.
Well, we did get a drink before.
Of course.
Had to get the Miami Vice. I got my Miami Vice.
Yeah.
Took our drinks to muster.
Right. So we go through the muster drill. It really took 5 minutes. We walked in. They went to check us in. They scanned our cards. We didn't even have our sailing cards at that time.
It was just our boarding pass.
It was just our boarding pass. Yeah, they scanned our boarding pass, and we went through the life jacket demonstration, and we were done. That was it. We went back and enjoyed the rest of our day. Yeah. It was the fastest, the greatest muster drill I've seen. So great job, Carnival, on that muster drill. It was so much better than it was before.
It's great.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's got to stay after COVID, right? Like it's so easy and convenient. It's got to stay after COVID.
I really hope so. Yeah. And then we made a rookie mistake. We went to the Lido deck and bought a pitcher there, which the 2 pitchers ended up costing over $70.
They did.
But then,
don't do that.
Yeah. Then we went down to the Red Frog pub on deck 5 and met them for happy hour. So that was 12 to 2. We got 2 pitchers, same size, for $12 each. We made sure to catch plenty of shows this time around.
We did. We did.
So,
We finally got to see Flick, which we wanted to see last time.
Yes,
and missed it.
Even though a lot of the shows are still the shows that they were doing before COVID, I mean, the performers were top notch. Like those,
they're great.
I could not believe some of the caliber singers that they had and dancers. The shows are definitely worth catching.
So then, next day,
Yes,
we get into having some real fun.
Oh yeah.
And we go to Honduras. So we're back at Mahogany Bay. Had an amazing time there. We went to a different place. So last time we went to the Mayan Princess area resort.
Is a resort, yeah.
Yeah, which is a really, really good place. This time we went, it was actually with the same company. We booked it through Carnival as well. And the same company that owns the Mayan Princess Resort has another resort area on the other side of the island.
It's Turquoise Bay.
There you go.
It's fantastic.
It was great. This is probably my favorite beach spot. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's my favorite beach spot that we've been to on a cruise.
Yeah.
This place was just amazing, just absolutely amazing.
It was so picturesque. I mean, it was absolute paradise.
Yeah.
And we were there just to enjoy our day, and it was so welcomed after everything that we've gone through for the past 2 years that all of us have experienced. To just kind of, we had our own table in the water, and then turns out we had purchased the VIP portion of the package, which ended up meaning that the servers were extra accommodating and were wearing swim trunks and water shoes to bring us drinks and food in the water, like at the table that we were at. I'd never seen that level of effort.
Right. We never left the water the entire. Well, you did you went to go get the buffet or something, whatever you did. But like, I didn't leave the water the entire time that we were there. Like, I got in the water right when we got there, and just stayed there the entire day. And I'm a huge fan of the water. Like, that's my thing. And so it was great that I never even had to leave the water the entire time that we were there, which was...
It was so wonderful.
Yeah, had an amazing time there.
And then the next day was Belize.
Yes. So went back to Belize again. And Belize, we weren't sure what we were going to do. We didn't have an excursion booked that day. We were talking to a few friends on, what they wanted to do and trying to figure out where we were going to go. We ended up deciding to split up. Like, we all kind of went to different places. But we decided to go on a tour through the city. Yeah. Which was pretty cheap. I think we spent like $25 a person.
Yeah, it wasn't terribly expensive at all.
Yeah, and then we just got in a van and just kind of drove around. And our tour guide was great. Like, he went through a lot of... we learned a lot about Belize. He explained a lot of things about Belize to us that, it's a rough place.
Yes.
It's a rough place. It's gorgeous. It's got a lot of great things to it as well, but it's got some... It's got its downsides.
It's hurting. Yeah. And so, but we did that as an independent tour, but it was a tour that we purchased within the port. We never left the port without someone who was local, who was escorting us, driving us. The police were there checking his van, like making sure his credentials were lined up. So it was definitely something that I felt comfortable doing once we realized, okay, this is a legitimate company. Right. But definitely keep your eyes out for that. If you're going to go independent, just make sure it's somebody that you can actually vouch for. And then the following day was Cozumel.
Cozumel, which is our favorite port. Yeah. Even though like Roatan was great, I do like Roatan. The beach there was amazing, but as far as just the port area, Cozumel is my favorite port area.
But so we ended up going to Nachi Cocom, which is just down the street from Mr. Sancho's. There were also, I think when we got there were only about 25 to 30 people there.
Oh yeah, it was
so great. It was completely dead. But we met some people and ended up talking and hanging out the entire time, exchanged emails, and they were really, really awesome. Yeah. But yeah, I would go back there, but I think Mr. Sancho's is my preference. Yeah. And then after that was another sea day and back home. I mean, so...
That's always the worst part, is the back home part.
But, I mean, this time we did a couple things different. We definitely spent a lot more time in the pool, in the back, really, the aft.
because we had met a lot of people on this ship. And just ran into a lot of people that we had never met before.
Yeah.
And we just kept meeting up and hanging out and having a good time. And we're so happy we did.
Yeah.
They're amazing people, and we enjoyed all the time that we got to spend with all of them. So yeah, we just happened to spend more time in the pool hanging out with those guys than we did on our previous trip.
Yeah.
You know, and again, neither one's right or wrong. It's just we did it a little differently the first time, changed up a little bit for the second time, and they were both amazing experiences. So we loved every minute of it. All right, so before we call it a day, we're going to end with a little slideshow here of some more pictures of our trip. Yeah. Enjoy.
See you around.